Hey guys, what's going on? This is Castro here once again with YS Stocks and Options, and we're going to go over the market forecast for this upcoming week. So you'll see that some of these forecasts already been pre-positioned already because we actually had data with our members a few days ago. So, but I'm just going to go over it, right? Just so you guys can see what we're expecting for the market for this week. The financial markets have been preoccupied with one idea in the recent weeks, right? And that's recession. And the upcoming week will offer more insight in whether the inflation pressures are pushing businesses or consumer pullbacks that could tip the economy to recession. But we're going to know about this, right? So Friday, June job reports cast doubt on imminence of the wholesale downturn of the U.S. economy. Last month, the U.S. economy added about 372 jobs, while unemployment rate held steady at 3.6%. So the strong numbers, right, gained for non-farms payrolls in June appears to be more of a mockery, to be honest with you, of the claims the economy is heading into what everybody's saying is a recession. So, but as we look into the market itself, right, and following a lot of these reports and investors and economists, we all believe and we all truly acknowledge that most likely 0.75% interest rate increase for the Federal Reserve later this month is more evident, right, more likely than anything. So as we look into the market, right, the first thing they want to look at is IW and the Russell 2000. We saw a few things, right? So we saw that it hit resistance right here, right? This is a resistance area. This is actually was the forecast that we did for the previous week. So resistance here, and we had a downtrend on the volume, right? As the price action was actually going higher. So that's why we like to look at where the stock has been or the ETF has been in order for us to mark where it's going. So that's why for this forecast, we had the Russell 2000 forecasted for $171.39, right, for this week. Again, we're just being a little bit modest here as far as the number. Could go a little bit lower, but that's what we're expecting for the Russell 2000, especially given earnings this week, right? We have the CPI, Consumer Price Index, on Wednesday. We also have the Federal Reserve budget, as well as federal wallet actually speaking on Thursday. So a lot of volatility we're going to see in the market for this week. Okay. CCI here is hinging downward, right? Look at this, boom, CCI, right, hinging downward, tells us that, price action most likely, right, probability is going to be going lower as well, right? So let's look at the Dow Jones Industrial, right? Very similar to the Dow Jones. Very similar to the Russell 2000, the Dow Jones here again, right? Price action went higher, right? But as price action was going higher, right, I consider the volume as motivation, right? Motivation was declining with the buyers. So we saw that last week that Dow Jones Industrial closed here. This was a hammer. Then it closed here in a long-legged doji, right? Stars, we call it. And as you notice that here is distribution, right? So this particular ETF, the Dow Jones Industrial, is distributing here, right? Trading sideways, right? We had some accumulation, we had some advancing. After advancing distribution, and then we have decline. So for this one in particular, Dow Jones Industrial, we had the forecast for $309.14. Just as it hit this support area here, right? Again, $309.14, decrease in volume. In addition to that, the CCI, look at that, CCI is hinging downward, right? And we know that the stochastic is a lagging indicator. So, the stochastics may follow through in the next few days to come. So let's look at the QQQ, the triple Qs, right? Very similar to the rest of the market. Very, very similar. One of our coaches, when we did our sessions, she spoke about Coach D. Spoke about double tops. Yeah, look at that. She said Castro, it's forming a double top. And we know that when double tops are formed, right, we have, especially during resistance area, double tops, we have a shift into the trend, right? Shift in the trend. So as we saw the CCI, look at that, CCI is trending downward here. Boom, right? CCI trending downward, right? We had increase in volume actually. See increase in volume on Friday, as you guys can see here. But overall, it's resistance, double top, and we have the QQQ, right? Reporting earnings at the end of the month, come in a little bit lower to 286.70, right? Again, just hitting this support area here. So it's going to hit the support area here of 287.70, and then we'll see what it does thereafter, right? But overall, we have the market going a little bit lower. Let's check out the VIX. We like to look at the fear index before we actually see what's going on with the what? With the S&P 500. And, right, I had forecasted the VIX to hit here, right, which it did. Actually closed it out here. But now, right, this is after hours, right? This is pre-market. I don't know why. But we have the VIX here like at 26.35, right? It's already high. So if the VIX is at 26.35, you can imagine that the S&P 500, right, it's actually trading lower, right? So as we look into the CCI, look at that, right? The commodity channel index, at least for this oscillator, the fear index, right? It's actually an over, right? Over what? Yeah, you already guessed it, right? Oversold territory. So boom, this is a sell signal. So it's going higher. That means that this oscillator is already at 26.35 already, right? But last week it closed at 24.62, right? Trending upward, right? This is a sign that it's going to go higher, right? My forecast for it was 26.75, right? But it's already at 26.35. So boom, it's almost going to hit that, right? Lagging indicator, right? Percentage delta, percentage K crossing already. So that tells us that this has more upside to go, right? And of course, if the VIX is going up, yes, you guessed it, the S&P 500 is gonna go down, right? Right. So as you can see here, again, we did the forecast with our members, right? But this is what we're seeing, right? So this is a bearish harami, right? Bearish harami forming right here, bearish harami forming, right? And this is, indicative of a downtrend, right? Downside. In addition to that, look at that. We had decrease in volume, right? Remember, volume is what I call motivation transactions that occur for that particular day. As the stock was going higher and higher and higher, right? The volume and the motivation, as I call it, started to decrease. So that tall tale sign, this bearish signal there, right? And again, double tops here at key resistance area there, right? And if you look at the phases of the market, what phase is this? Yeah, you guessed it, this distribution. We have some accumulation here, we have some advancing. After distribution, it is declining, and then the cycle begins again, right? Again, we have some right here, we see here, right? Boom, boom, boom. This will be considered some accumulation, some advancing, right? It went from higher. Then we had some accumulation here, distribution here, and then it went declining, and then the cycle started all over again, right? Here, it declined, right? It accumulated, right? Then it went higher, and then the cycle begins again. So if you don't understand the phase of the market, you have to join our community so we can actually talk about that. We talk about the phases of the market and how we actually can use that for trading and also ATRs, right? Average true range. So again, just for the forecast of this, for the S&P 500, we have it forecasted for $380.72 by the 15th of July. So currently right now, that is $7.62, 1.96% to the downside in the next 7 days. So as we look at our indicators, our favorite indicators, right? Look at this. But CCI is already sell signal right there. It's already hinging downward, right? Telltale sign that the price actually is going down, right? This is a lagging indicator. So, this is going to take time for the stochastics to make up its mind of where it wants to go. But overall, right? Overall for the broader market, again, consumer price index, huge catalyst for Wednesday. We got the Fed speaking, right? We got the Fed budget on Wednesday, and on Thursday, the Fed is speaking, right? So we expect a lot of implied volatility for both of those days in the market, but overall, our sentiment for the overall market, right, as of right now, it's bearish, right? Bearish at least for the short term, and it's been bearish for the long term ever since January, right, when we broke those highs. But that's what we have, guys. If you're interested in being part of our community and learning all this cool stuff about investing, right, and trading, like we're here, right? The link is below. You can sign up. You can look at our services, right? We offer a monthly workshop if you want to just, don't want to be part of the community, but you want to check out what we do and how we do it, right? We got a workshop every month, and this month, we're going to do one for the 16th and 17th of July. You got to check that out, right? One thing that we always say is that whatever you do, right, always practice logic over emotions, rational, right? We make rational decisions. And when pulling, we'll see you guys at the finish line. Peace, 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 right? Be blessed.